Now, face the mighty bison.
A lot of information was revealed today with Heihachi and also the Tekken Talk, and in this video I'm just going to try to give you a very thorough breakdown but very fast. Cut out all the garbage, all the jokes, and just get right to the meat and juice. First off, thank you for 4,000 followers on Twitter. I appreciate that, but also if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video. First thing we got to talk about is the collaborations that happened. You may have heard of some, but some of the others may have slipped your mind. The first one is the Gentle Glasses, which drops on the 28th. This one is the glasses that one you could buy in the store for $500 or two you could get in the game itself for free. The second collaboration you have is Max Respect /V Online. This is a collaboration Tekken 8 is doing with that game, which is basically like a rhythm game where you match the rhythm. They're putting a lot of Tekken music into that game. You guys can pause this screenshot and look at all the different iconic music they have. Maybe this is a hint as to what stages will be coming later. I don't know. Let's not go that far. But this is a collaboration that they did. Another collaboration that they did is with PUBG Mobile. They put Nina, Kazuya, and Jin Kazama's skins into that game. We don't know if they'll do more, but that's currently what they're doing. The PUBG player base is pretty big, so this is probably a good collaboration to do. And then of course the one that will be dropping with Heihachi is the Nike collaboration. This one will be available through the battle pass on the free side, so you just max out the free side and you will eventually get the shoes. Now on the character Heihachi himself, he was trending number 25 on Twitter. That's the highest I've seen. His release date for early access people was on the 30th, and then for everyone else is on the 3rd. Me personally, I still don't like the whole early access thing, but that's kind of the way that modern video games are. They try to get as much money as possible every way possible. On the topic of balance, a lot of players are talking about this guy being busted. Now, I feel like he's definitely going to be busted. It's something that I predicted from the start, but let's just wait and see what actually happens. You can see some of the reactions on Twitter right now. Arsenal and Ash is saying, can we get Kunimitsu now? King J is saying he has 2 heat smashes. Intone is another player who's highlighting a lot of the stuff that Heihachi can do and ended off with, oh god, that's not a good sign. Another player says Heihachi power up doesn't allow you to have chip damage, and he allows himself to have more chip damage. GG's. I Am Paying says, another reminder not to duck against Heihachi. Bro really guessed the hell sleep correctly and died for it. The only one who seems to be celebrating the Heihachi that we were shown is Joka, the Heihachi main. Justice was done, and Heihachi is perfect. Thank you, Bandai Namco. We'll have to see when the character comes out if he's actually S tier, or if this is just the community getting a little too excited about the trailer. I think he's going to be something, but we'll wait and see. Now, as we continue with the things that was shown off, Heihachi will be on the main menu screen, but the developer said that you can change it to any character you want. Now, you cannot do random, which I am still pushing for. I think it would be cool, like, if every time you go to the main menu screen, it could be a random character. You don't have to, like, manually go in and change it yourself. It just changes on its own. One day that will happen, but not today. On the topic of skins and the battle pass, they're adding a Halloween skin. You have a picture here. You can see Haramag's kind of wearing, like, a skeleton outfit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this Dragonoffs from Tekken 7? And then you also have the Grim Reaper outfit. I don't know which character's under there. Maybe it's Devil Jin. But then for the 2 female characters, you can see they kind of have like these little devil outfits. Reminds me of that one girl from SNK vs. Capcom. But that's some of the skins that they're putting in, which confirms that they will be doing holiday themes, which is something that I was questioning. You know, you had the Christmas skins, you had like just many different themes in past Tekken games, and now they're going to be sold to us in the shop. Right now, as for the Battle Pass, as soon as the Battle Pass 2 ends, they will be adding Battle Pass 3. And this is something that players were upset about with the Battle Pass 1. Why is there this long month gap? Just extend 1 all the way to 2 so it starts as soon as the next one ends, right? And that's kind of what they're doing with Battle Pass 3. So all of the criticism is paying off, right? They're listening. Now, no story spoilers in this video, but the story DLC is free for all. You don't have to pay for the characters. For the story, you can experience it, which is really good because MK1 is charging $50. So that's definitely a good thing that Bandai Namco is doing. But then also, without paying for the DLC characters, Heihachi, Lydia, Eddie, you will still be able to use them in the story DLC. Just from looking at everything we were shown, Lydia appears to be the main character, and you will be able to use her for free in the story. So that's another good thing as well. You can at least test drive those characters and see if you want them. Now, as for Heihachi's stage, sad news, this is not free like Lydia's beach stage. It has two versions, kind of like a day one and like a night one. But even if you don't buy it, which I suggest you don't, you can still play it if your opponent pays for it. If your opponent pays for it and you guys get matched and the stage randomly selects to that, you can still play it. So there's no real reason to buy it, just like in Tekken 7. Now, as for the stage menu screen itself, they changed it slightly. Stages that are more cloned, like you have the multiple New York stages, those are now overlaid on top of each other, and you would press square or the one button to change the different variations, and you could do the same thing with the Heihachi stage. Now, this is something that we already know is confirmed, and the developers didn't go that much into detail about it. They said they'll talk about it later. I'll do a follow-up video just going real deep into it. But for right now, what we know about the small balance update that's also dropping with Heihachi, the Nike shoes, the battle pass, the shop, all of this stuff, is in that small balance update. The main focus will be taking damage off of some characters. They named Dragunov, they named Nina. They will probably hit other characters as well. What else is done in the balance update, I will cover it as soon as the patch notes drop, so just subscribe. Now, as for new modes, new features, this is something players request. They have confirmed that online practice will also drop with Heihachi, and it will be available only in the Tekken Lounge. In my opinion, I don't think there's anything wrong with going to the Tekken Lounge, meeting up with your friend, and you guys sit at a cabinet, right? It's a few extra buttons, so be it. Also, on the topic of the lounge, they slightly changed the lounge layout, so there's more cabinets for one-on-one. They have another section way in the back where 8 players can match up against one another in one-on-ones, and then you also have a bunch of different practice cabinets scattered throughout. So they're just really trying to get players to move around, and also if something is occupied, you have more space to go play somewhere else, right? So that's what they're just trying to focus on. Now, as for rank itself, they did a lot. Players were complaining about ranked a lot, and you know, when I complain in my videos, people say, Moonsaw, you're being negative, you're being like toxic. Like, this is why I complain, because the developers listen and they make very necessary changes. If you just hold all your criticism in because you don't want to hurt their feelings, it won't get fixed. Now, ranks, they're doing some things to fix it. One thing that they're doing is they're allowing you to adjust the ranks more. Because, you know, Tekken prowess is a big issue. People don't like going up against people who are super high, super lower, or whatever the case may be. You will be able to alter the details of what you're searching for to really like clamp down on getting matched up with people who are far exceeding your rank. That's something that's going to be good because a lot of people are talking about how prowess matchmaking is holding them back. So you can adjust it. And then also, this is another great thing. Even if you still get matched up with like a God of Destruction or someone far above you, you will now lose less points when you lose to someone who has a higher rank, and you will win more points when you defeat someone who has a higher rank. That is an excellent change, and maybe that would make you guys more interested in trying to fight higher ranked players because the risk versus reward is now in your favor. Also, too, after the match, whether you're in ranked or online, from the rematch screen, you can go straight into replays and look at everything that you've done and watch the match back. You don't have to go all the way to the menu and go all through these steps. You can do it just from that screen there. That's another thing players were requesting. Now, on the topic of plugging, we thought they weren't going to say anything about it. We were watching a whole 2-hour thing and they weren't saying anything. But they eventually talked about it, and what they said was actually pretty interesting. And once again, this is something that the players were suggesting. When someone plugs on you in a match, they said they are experimenting with this feature where the ghost will take over and the match will continue. Now, the game will not notify you that this happens. They want it to be a seamless thing, and they were describing it as if it's already in the game.
You're getting plugged on, but you don't notice because we actually make it look like the match finishes and you receive the points.
Now, as for the people who are in ranked who feels demotivated, like not interested in playing, there's a lot of pro players who are feeling this way. The developers said they are also working on something to alleviate this feeling, to make it better, to give them a reason to go into ranked. And they said they haven't came up with it yet, but they're trying to figure it out, right? And when you think about it like that, it is something that's going to take a lot of like engineering. What can they put into ranked to make the most diehards feel motivated to keep playing? It's a very interesting thing, and I'm interested to see what they come up with. And you know, as for the character Heihachi, you know, we'll talk more about his balancing and what the character truly can do when he releases.